Hello, hello. It's great to be outside and walking and breathing. I think I need my headphones because it's pretty windy. But for everybody who was wondering and worried what it is, how it is, Florida, the hurricane did some damage, of course. It went to the Tampa, and some parts of Sarasota magically got dry, and some parts of Sarasota magically got rained on. So yes, some of the beaches were underwater, including our beach, but right now everything is good, life is good, and we are on the beach again. So for everybody who've been asking, life is back to normal, but I still, it's not working. Okay, never mind. But I still want to talk about the quality of life and human life in general, because even in this not very big hurricane, we have some rescuing stuff going on. Even in this not such a big hurricane, some people did lose their life and their homes. And something like that is going on all the time in our world. The hurricanes that we live through, not just being by the ocean and being susceptible to the weather changes, but the weather within us is also changing a lot, and the weather of our relationship and the weather in our surroundings, mental, emotional weather is not extremely stable these days. Therefore, we can lose our life, we can lose our footing, we can lose our homes, our work at any moment. And therefore, you can live in fear, you can be in anxiety about it, you can worry about everybody who you love, or just people on the other side of the world. At the same time, the truth of the matter is that the more you worry, the more turmoil you create around yourself, and it's not really helpful. So on my page, on my Facebook page, there you can find the messages from my friend Alexandra Isayevich. Together we've created a set of metaphorical cards, and every day she's sharing those metaphorical cards and their meaning. They're pretty amazing. You can find those images on insightfulcolor.com. It's our website, insightfulcolor.com. So there is a very inexpensive set of it as a book on Amazon, but that's not important. What's important, just go on the website and look at the images. Why? Because we live as human beings, we pretend to be human. At the same time, we are not human. We are only partially human. What does it mean? It means that our human brain has a particular structure of how we think about things. And this comes from our parents and our birth date, because planets affect us, and our upbringing and our surroundings and the countries and the laws and everything else. But besides that, we also have the brain, and our brain is not human physically, structurally. Our thinking might be human sometimes when we are in an analogical mind and when we are not scared, but our physical brain consists of three parts. One is the reptilian brain, which reacts to weather changes. The other one is mammalian, that reacts to human, or not so human, but tactile experiences, and need to be in love, in relationship, in touch with somebody. And then there is a human brain, of course. It's a higher vision. We can make a meaning of anything. But again, those meanings are only possible when we are at peace with ourselves and others. When we don't have peace, when we create stories with our brain, human brain, that are spooky and scary, we start behaving as animals. So if you think about predators, how they behave when they're being attacked, this is what we do. And if you think about prey, how they are behaving when they're attacked. They herd together in a big crowd, they put the little kids inside, and they sacrifice their life to protect the kids. So the birds are also very interesting because they sit high and they see the hurricane and they feel the heat and they feel the cold, and so they migrate. They don't stay in one place, most of them, because they find a higher vision of where they can go next. So I'm giving you that story. I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. I have lots of stories for children. Some of them I published, some of them are still waiting for me to publish them, but I've written like 64 of them. And those stories are about how we can help each other, how the reptilian brain can help the mammalian brain and can help the human brain, and how the human brain can help the reptilian to calm down. And that's what my broadcast is about today. Because depending on what's your goal in life, you create certain actions. So how it is, we get the information, and that information immediately is translated into the goal. Wow, look at the shell I found. This is absolutely amazing. Wow, I think the mollusk is still in there. Whoa, you see the value of life, and I find that. And yes, there is a mollusk. And because of the hurricane, I think it was thrown out. So luckily for this guy, I'm gonna put it back to water and see if it can survive. But not everyone, it's pretty big, you see, it's pretty big. So luckily for this one, somebody is saving. Hopefully it'll be okay. Normally we are waiting in life to somebody will come and save us. But the reason we're waiting for the savior is that we already realized that some things are not really going well for us. And we forget that the major goal in life is not to get ahead in career. It's not about creating a loving relationship. It's not even about staying young when you are gracefully aging. Those are extra activities. The main activity of our life is to live, because life is an experience for the soul. And as your soul is going through the experience, it gets wiser, it gets more expanded, it connects to other souls, it changes vibration, which is energy, how we exude electricity from our body. And as we create higher meanings of all the events that are happening in life, we also help other people experience those events in a higher way, in a higher frequency. Why is it important? Imagine you're living on the first floor and you see all the dust and all the mud and rain and everything else. In fact, at some point of my life, I lived in the basement apartment with the windows. I was in Russia. It was like halfway down. So you could see people walking through the windows, their feet actually. What happens is that your focus, your attention is on the mud, on the dust and on the shoes. But then you, let's say, move to the third floor, and the view from the third floor is so different. Oh, look at the sun. So amazing. It just makes my heart happy. So the view is much better and you enjoy it, and you quickly forget how dusty and muddy it was on the first floor. But then, let's say you're paying a little more for the third floor apartment, and somebody at work tells you you're not doing a good job, and you go like, oh my God, what if I get fired and I would need to go back to the mud? The truth of the matter is, if you're not doing so good, maybe you need to learn something. Or maybe you need to talk to that person and ask what exactly is required so you can get better. But usually people interpret some of those ideas, some of those informational streams as a problem. So if you use your mind to focus on the problem, to find solution is very, very hard. You start looking for somebody who can save you. And usually we find somebody who can listen, and we tell them how terrible it is. And in that conversation, both of you are in this problem. But every problem has a solution embedded in it, because the problems in life are not necessarily the problems. It's just the stepping stones. It's just the opening gates for different views, for different actions, for different experiences. And so if you're fired or kicked out, it means that you already, at some point of your life, decided it's not for you, and your mind is only catching up with you, because the reptilian brain is much faster to react. And if there is something uncomfortable or something that does not match your desires, how you want life to be, the reptilians are very fast to change. They don't like the cold, they go to the sun. They don't like the sun, they go to the cold. It takes us years to decide. I lived in Chicago for 34 years. I always wanted to be in a warm climate. And in my idea, it was once I'm really old and I don't have to work, I will go to maybe Roatan, because I was diving in Roatan at some point. And maybe my husband will open the coffee shop and I will be painting, and this is how we're gonna live. Notice, I never said I'm gonna go retired. I was thinking, what am I gonna do when I'm very old? And then I decided, why do I need to wait until I'm very old when I can actually enjoy the warm weather right now? And luckily, in between the hurricanes, it does happen, and I absolutely love it here. Because I believe danger could find you anywhere, but if you rephrase it, we can find the danger. We can get ourselves in very strange situations, no matter where we are. So the rule number one that we discussed in different broadcasts, we have 9 different competencies in life, 9 different universal rules, laws of how to be in the world ecologically. And rule number 1, be the leader of your life. Be the leader for yourself. Do not wait for somebody else to lead you. Most importantly, do not try to lead others. In my family, unfortunately, I am the one who has a tendency to constantly lead others. So if I'm moving, people are moving with me. If I'm writing, people are writing with me. If I'm painting, people are painting with me. And if you've been to my groups, or even if you listen to some of my radio broadcasts or TV or YouTube, you probably would say something like somebody else said. I was on a radio broadcast and somebody called and said, well, I don't understand. You are doing spiritual journeys in Peru, in Thailand. You are doing the broadcast, psychological broadcasts, question answers on the radio. I see you on TV. I know that you are a skier and you do the skiing trips. You are constantly teaching paintings. You are writing books. Like, how is it even possible? And it was said in a way, it's like, it's not possible. It is not possible. You are probably a fraud. And I agreed with this person. I said, well, for you I might be a fraud, and therefore with your understanding of how a person should be, focused on one thing, always improving that one thing, I might be a fraud. I'm not saying I'm the best artist and the best writer, and by the way, lots of people are striving for the best. They want to be the best. And this is not my goal. My goal to be fully expressed in life and do exactly what I want in that exact moment. And I don't really care much if somebody loves my paintings or my books. I write what I believe is important to write. If you read it and it helps you, great. If you don't read it, it still helps you, because my vibration is already in the world expressed. And we're all connected in the stream of energy and information. So as you receive information and you make it your goal, maybe one day you receive this information or some other information, and it will help you to have a a better, clearer, more appropriate goal. Or maybe not. It's up to you. But what I wanted to talk about is that when you put anything else besides life as your goal, most likely you will have that fluctuation of success and failure. Why? Because we live in the vibrational universe. So we fluctuate with the planets, with the hurricanes, with the sunshine. We also fluctuate with the people around us, with the books we read, with the movies we see, with the trips we take. And every time we fluctuate, we could judge it as good or bad. We can say, I should have not done this, or I should have done things better. Well, you might, but how would you know if you would not have an experience? So, if your life is the most important thing that you value, then as an action, as a sequential action to that idea, you would cherish your life experiences, however they come, and you will learn from them, and you will find not only the lessons, but the pleasure. Because energy is not plus or minus. It's never negative or positive. It's energy. How you judge it depends on how you think about it, or how your body feels about it, as a reptilian brain. The fish died. This one I will not save. But hurricane did affect the life around here. And then your reptilian brain will absolutely move you to where the life could be better for you. And if your human brain will reason and say, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 different reasons not to do that, because what people will say, what they will feel, how they will be affected. Those are great human reasons, absolutely wonderful. But what if tomorrow one of these people also decides to move, and you, who didn't do what you decided to do, will stay behind? Possible, right? Possible. So you can only lead yourself and allow other people to lead themselves. Which brings me to the next point. Law number 2. For all, by the way, all those laws play a role in how we live life, because those are our birthday. So people who were born on the 1st will be natural leaders. They will not consider others they will just pick up and go and do whatever they need to do. And if they are not capable of doing it, they will suffer. And after they suffer, they'll make you to do what they want to do. And find a great pleasure seeing, for example, parents do it with children. They live their ambitions, their life through children. So they would get you doing things that they do not allow themselves to do. That's not being a leader in your life. It's being a tyrant in somebody else's life. Because most likely children have different birthday. Maybe they're born on the 2nd or 3rd, or any combination of the numbers in their birthday will give them different numbers, and therefore different way of thinking. And different way of thinking will create different actions. So when you receive information from others, you kind of need to go through your own goal orientation. How is it for me? What is it about for me or not for me? And if it's for me, what exactly do I want to do with this information? And then after you've gotten the information and you decided on your goal, only then you start moving ahead with the goal, which is the strategy, being a strategist for yourself. If you cannot be a strategist for yourself, find somebody who was born on 1st or 10th of the month, and or 19th, which creates 10, and they will absolutely help you strategize. But again, their strategy might not be the strategy you want. But in a business, for example, it would be helpful to have somebody who is strategic. And people can learn strategy, but for people who are born on the first, it's a natural thing. So you'd rather have somebody who doesn't need to think twice, because business, for example, very often needs fast and strong decisions. How do I know about that? I coach business people. And sometimes they come with a very urgent issues. And I am a strategist, even though I'm born on 25th, but my mission in life is to find mutually beneficial ways, ideas of how to strategize and bring people into safety. Oh, look at that. The whole palm came out. That is a big palm. Very big palm. All right. But luckily, all these houses on the beach are doing okay. Great. Life is continuous. Okay. So, people with second and 11th day of birth or 20th, these people are born to save relationships at all costs. Those are natural psychologists. Those are natural mentors. Those are natural teachers. And what happens when they get into relationship, they choose somebody to save. It happens all the time. Many clients I work with are sometimes in abusive relationships or less optimal relationships, or relationships that go absolutely against their safety or their goals in life. But they stay in relationship for a long time, no matter what the universe does for them. Sometimes the universe gets the partner really sick, but they'll be staying by them. Of course, that's a human social condition to help the sick, of course. And then the universe puts that partner in a jail. They stay by them. And then the universe makes them angry and even more abusive. They stay with them. Why? Because they have a potential for diplomacy. They have a potential to settle things up, to make things better. But sometimes the goal of being alive is being overpowered by the goal of saving somebody else or making somebody else better. And when you are in somebody else's life, you're no longer in your life. So if you forget rule number 1, be the leader in your life, then relationships, of course, become tiring, exhausting, detrimental. But if you remember the first one, then you could be a partner with the vision, a partner with the stronger health conditions, a partner with the stronger psyche, and you could have much better solutions. Because sometimes you just need to send that person to a rehabilitation center, or maybe you just need to send that person to a school to learn certain things that they are lacking, and therefore their business is falling apart. But sometimes we forget that we do not need to save anybody. Everybody has their own path, school of life, and there are 12 schools of life, just like 12 months. And every school of life gives you a particular lesson, and then you have an examiner. You think you get your lesson and it's okay? No. Every year, right before your birthday, like 45 days, 30 to 45 days before your birthday, things start piling up. Those are the things that are generated by your examiner. And your examiner is another energy in your chart, the quality in your chart that is a clean, clear energy, not mixed with anything else. And it's 22 of them, 22 different archetypes. And so if that energy gets you going and you do not pass your exam, the school of life comes back, and the whole next year you're going to be suffering very similar issues. So that could be calculated, not the important thing for this conversation, but if you're interested, I'll calculate it for you. I've been offering free strategic sessions, and I will not be doing them until October 15th because I'm very overloaded with travels and my strategic consultations that are regular clients that come for the business consult and personal consult. But the free ones will start again sometime in October. I'll let you know when. But if you're interested, if you have any questions, absolutely write to my messenger and I will always respond. Maybe not that second, but at some point I will always respond to your question because you are important for your life. But you also are important for the life of humanity. Because humanity is a tapestry. And each one of us is an important thread. And when we all vibrate at the higher vibration, life gets better. I'm not making it up. There was a research about it. I think in DC there was a prayer, a number of prayers organized by a big group of people. And they've been measuring the Schumann resonance around that area and even checking the energy from the space. And those parts of the earth where the deep prayer, strong prayer by many people was happening, the energy was different and the blueprint of the energy from the earth was also different. It was, ooh, look at that. It was also measured with all kinds of devices because we can measure our electricity in hertz. And if you're not familiar how different emotions affect you and most importantly your environment. For example, when you're angry or hungry or experience fear or anxiety, the space you create is charged by that, and then your children all of a sudden become unruly or angry, or they bother you a lot, or they cry all of a sudden, or they don't want to eat or something like that. It's because you've charged the place with energy that's not life sustainable. So goal number one is your life. If you're in an unsafe situation right now in this moment, whether it's a hurricane of a natural elements or it's a hurricane created by people and their strange behaviors, the first thing you do, you pick up and leave. And then you fix the relationship, however you need to fix it, you explain, or you create a restraint order, or you do something that gives your physical body a sense of safety and security. You do not go through insecure situations with the idea that you're a great psychologist, or you're a great help, or you're a great wife, or you're a great husband who can save the situation. Especially because in your own, I'm collecting all kinds of things because I'm a creative person and I see what could be made from it. So you believe that you can help, you might, but within your own family you're not a prophet. There is a saying about it, there is no prophet in your own country, homeland. So if you feel that somebody needs help, you do need to go to a professional. If your faucet is leaking, you might fix it, but maybe it's leaking in a way that you cannot fix it and you call professional. But if your house is flooded, like it happened right now in some houses, my friend's house was flooded, terrible situation, then you call professional cleaners and professional restoration. Why? Because it's too much for one person to do. Even if you have two people in the family, even if you have four, sometimes it's overwhelming, and cleaning somebody else's mess or the nature mess is hard. Sometimes people are in relationships where there is a drug abuse. And when I say drug, I do not mean something harsh. It could be something harsh, it could be strong drug, which absolutely affect the brain and fries the parts of the brain that are responsible for human thinking. So the person becomes like an animal, but not an animal which are in my stories, which are very cooperative and they want to, the reptilian wants to help the mammalian and the bird is seeking a better way and showing the way. People on drugs become animals that are unpredictable, wild, hurt animals, because drugs hurt your brain. But I'm talking about any kind of drug. Medical, prescriptional drugs have gazillions of side effects. If you read the enclosed instructions, you'll find that. Also all kinds of street drugs, also smoking, also drinking. But smoking, by the way, even if you don't smoke marijuana, because these days people use this kind of drug and then say it's very beneficial, well, even that has a secondary effect, nightmarish effect. Some people don't know why their sleep patterns change. You kind of relax, that's great, but you kind of come back, and at that point your normal state is no longer feels like a normal state. It feels like you are ruffled up, and so you need more and more of it. So it's not maybe it's not addictive as a drug, but it is addictive as a state. But that same state could be produced by just walking on the beach, or spending time with somebody you love, or listening to the alpha. And therefore you can find your own way to create the peace that is necessary. But most importantly, do not come into situations in which you can help, of course, but maybe that's not the most effective help. And you can absolutely use any substances you want. I'm not against anything. I'm just explaining that some effects that we create artificially opens the pathways that are artificially open, shortcuts, and shortcuts can create circuit break sometimes. But you can also find a way to influence the way you think by getting into relationships that are on the same path with the same goal. You can also find workplace, for example, that matches your mission, your proper orientation, that is God-given proper orientation, so you don't have to do things you hate or that is hard for you because you don't want to do them. You can find something that is God-given to you as your mission, which kicks in 33, and mission is the actions. So if you find something that is yours to do, you want to do it all the time. You never want to stop. And that means you do not lose the energy, you find the energy. And then you don't need to take the energy from relationship or support other people can give you. Sometimes people get in this universal law number 2. We find matching energies. So in a state of love, we feel that energies are so matching, we're the same. He understands me, I understand him. There is a drive. And that drive is, by the way, a very physical drive, because we all have the flora and fauna of our body, biodome, and biodome finds another biodome of similar vibration. But that's a psychosomatic conversation, not for today. Oh my God, look at this thing. Wow. I think it also lost some of the ground under it, but it's okay, it's surviving. It's surviving even though the roots are almost all in the air. So it reminds me about relationship with the parents as well, not just with the children or with the co-workers or with your loved ones. So sometimes we lose our roots because we are not vibrating in the same way. After initial relationship, little children with their parents, or love, people who fell in love, comes the harsh reality, and we realize we're all different. We have different goals, we relate to things differently, we vibrate differently, our organs have different electricity, and then we have to find a way to live with that. How do we live with that? We need to either lower our electricity to meet the person, or we need to raise our electricity to meet the person. So if you are in depression and your partner is in anger, you can only have a good sex when both of you are in anger or higher. Because imagine the relationship with somebody who is depressed all the time. There is no relationship, there is nobody to relate to. The drive is gone. So when you are always in desire, I want the car, I want the diamond, I want the house, bigger house, then you need to find somebody who is enthusiastic to produce it for you. Because if you find somebody in the same desire, they would want it for themselves. And again, I had clients, very interesting, very wealthy clients, and they were fighting over $600 purse, while the gift exchange was $50,000. So $50,000 was okay, but the little one, the little purse for $3, because it was already something that you desire, but not me. So those desires are extremely important to also match in a way that you are going higher and higher vibrationally in order to fulfill your needs, your desires, and your goals. So today is my number 4 day, which is information is knowledge, knowledge is information, understanding how to find the goal within that information, and being able to accomplish this goal through being the leader in your life, through being in relationship that supports itself. So you don't have to fix it, you don't have to teach anybody, you don't need to do anything about it, and if you do, you go somewhere, or you send your partner to somebody who can help with that vibration, and then you're able to create a system in which you can co-create together without overimposing your leadership or your understanding of what should be done, who should do it, and most importantly, taking somebody else's goal as yours, and forget that your life is about survival first and thriving second. So I will finish my broadcast here, because look at this beach. It's been worked on by nature, and I will come back to it tomorrow. I will keep walking, but I am traveling to Turkey, and therefore we're going to be in different time zones, and I'm not sure when I'm going to be walking, but you will always find my broadcast here if you're interested. Ask questions, be safe, be loved by yourself, and remember that your goal is important, because your goal, your life, is bringing the tapestry of human co-creation to a whole different level, because your colors are very insightful. So visit insightfulcolor.com if you want to look at the animal that you are. I can also pull a card for you. Just ask me for it and I'll send you a card. The way you do it is you ask a question. You can ask a question right there in the comment. And the question could be what my partner is about, why am I not going this way, what's stopping me from this. You can ask any questions you want, and I'll pull a card, and I promise you the card will tell you the truth. It always does. I've been working with it for a year now. It's been produced a year ago, and we did not release it in a big way to the public because we were still testing, but it's already on Amazon in a book, as a book, or you can see the images just on our website free of charge. So much love. Have an amazing day. No matter how big the waves are, there is always sunshine above. So you can focus and be scared of the wave, or you can ride the wave all the way to the sunshine and the golden path right in front of you. So you choose. I'm choosing to walk and talk and love you and enjoy my goal. And my goal is to make humanity happier, not less than that. And whatever it takes, But it does take for me to connect with you, and that makes me happy already. Have a great day. Bye.